obviously equipment is key. Chairs are like shoes. You have basketball shoes, tennis shoes, like we have basketball chairs and tennis chairs. Now I'd like to introduce you to Carl so we can go over his chair. Carl's chair is a 3-wheel chair with a wheel in the back. That 5th wheel in the back, we call it, allows Carl to have no fear of going backwards when he reaches back for a shot or tries to get that extra spin on his serve. Also notice Carl has 20 degrees of camber, which allows the chair to turn really quickly. Tennis is a game of quickness, not necessarily speed. Also, we need to notice Carl's strapping. He has his feet strapped. He has his strap right above his knees, and he has a strap right on his hips. The goal there is we want the chair to move. Any move we make, we want the chair to move with us. As a competitive player, Carl's trying to get every advantage possible. So his front wheel, is a polyurethane wheel, basically a rollerblade wheel that's going to roll on a point as much as possible. That's going to allow for quick turns and quick bursts. Now his bigger wheels, his back wheels, are cable-spoked wheels, Spinergy tires, the same wheels that the best bicycle riders in the world are using, with high-pressure tires up to 120 pounds. All right, thank you, Carl. Now I'd like to introduce you to some grips. Now these are introductory grips. There's many grips on which to hit the ball. But when I have an introductory player on the forehand, I just like to teach them the shaking hand grip. Just go ahead and shake that racket's hand, and that is your forehand grip. That is an Eastern grip. On your backhand, I like to put your knuckle on that first bevel. There's 8 bevels on a racket, and that is your Eastern backhand grip. Now when we volley, we have a 3rd grip, and that is your Continental grip. Now the Continental grip is your serving and volleying grip. We want to volley with the Continental because at the net things happen rapidly. When we have a Continental grip, we can go from here and here without changing our grip. The Continental grip is also valuable when we serve. The Continental grip puts your first knuckle on that 2nd bevel. Now there's one more very important grip, and for that I'd like to introduce you to Josh. What we're going to go over now is the pushing grip. All right? What is so important to be able to push your chair like you're not even holding a racket, like it's just second nature. My very first coach had me push all over town one time with just the racket in my hands. So what we need to do is we need to put the grip up against the push rim, all right, and push in that forehand grip. Go ahead, Josh. Now I want to get into stroke production and chair positioning. Each of them go hand in hand together. I like to teach in progressions where the backswing is 1, point of contact is 2, and the follow through is 3. That way I can reference 1, 2, and 3. Also, of course, the chair is in position. You'll find a lot of introductory players will get their chair to here and be peeking over their shoulder trying to hit the ball. What I like to see is a chair at a 45-degree angle where they are open and they can see what's in front of them and see the court in front of them. Now there's an old saying that spin wins, which is very true. So even the introductory players, right away I'll try to create some spin. A lot of players just have a natural stroke, which will create some natural spin, but what we'll try to do right away is either create some top spin by coming over the ball or some underspin, slice, by coming under the ball. Now, one of the obvious factors in playing wheelchair tennis is mobility and being able to get around the court. For that, I'd like to introduce Paul. Okay, now with Paul, we're in the pushing grip. He's going to do some raw mobility and just go chase the ball. Now he's going to recover back to the middle, and again for some raw mobility, we'll get him after the ball. All right, he's going to recover back. Always so important to recover back as quick as possible. Now this is going to be a 2-ball sequence where he's going to push, he's going to recover, and then have to pull. So he's going to go there, he's going to push, recover, and now he's going to have to pull some to get back to hit the ball. Very good, Paul. Again, here we go. Push, pushing him out a little farther. Excuse me, Paul. Recover back. Now Paul's going to show you some hand speed and really get after it. Go after the ball and recover back. Again, watch Paul. Quick little staccato hand speed. Good. Now we're going to have Paul pull back, Paul. Boom. And now we're going to hit a floater, and Paul's just going to be adjusting his chair the whole time. Oh, we had a little problem there. Paul's going to adjust his chair to get to the perfect hitting position to hit the ball. Thank you, Paul. Now another phase of pushing is our technical and tactical pushing, where we push in angles. Tennis is a game of angles, and we need to push our chair in angles. For that, I'd like Carl's help. What we're going to do here is Carl is going to push into the ball in an angle and then push back to this hub also at an angle. There he goes. Carl's pushing back to the hub. Now we're going to go to the backhand side where Carl pushes in and then pushes back to the hub. Now if Carl didn't push at an angle and just pushed in a straight line, he'd go ahead, get that ball, push in a straight line back, and then if I hit the ball behind him, he would not be able to get the ball. Now Carl's going to push properly into the angle, push in, he's going to push in there, goes ahead and gets the ball, pushes back. Now look, Carl can turn away from the ball and then push back to hit the shot. Now for the forehand. The forehand is the most natural of grips for the introductory player. What I like to teach is to keep our wrist firm and cocked. This is our wrist firm and this is our wrist cocked. What we want to do is keep it that way the whole way through the backswing to the point of contact, and then we can release our wrist and finish up high. This is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3. The backswing, point of contact, and follow through. Okay, Josh. Josh is going to hit the ball. Good, Josh. He's going to recover back. Good, Josh. Now we're going to have Josh incorporate a little hand speed. Reach. Good, Josh. He's going to recover back. Always moving in angles. Good, Josh. Okay, here we go. Here comes Josh again. Keeping the wrist firm, Josh. Good job. Recover back. Now remember, we need to go out and reach for that ball. Reach for it, Josh. All right, recover back. Come on. Quick hands. Watch that ball, Josh. Lower your shoulders. Good. Recover back. Now, Josh, go ahead and go get this ball. Show us you can push. Good, Josh. Recover back. Now, Josh, I want you to slow your swings down and just find the strings there. There you go. Now we're going to find the strings and we're going to be cooking with gas. There it is, Josh. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's talk about the backhand. The backhand is predominantly the biggest struggle for the introductory player because the racket has to come all the way across your body. On the forehand side, you can sort of fake it a little bit if you're late, but the backhand is all about preparation. We need to bring this racket across our body. As we bring it back, we change our grip from the forehand to the backhand grip, again with the 1 being the backswing, 2 being the point of contact, and the 3 the follow through. All right, Paul, you ready, son? Yeah. Paul's going to change his grip on the way back. He's going to recover back. Paul, we need you to open your chair. Open your chair up, Paul. Good. Recover back. Now, Paul, I want you to push in the angle. Push in the angle forward, Paul. Better. Recover back. Push in the angle, Paul. Push forward, Paul. There you go. Now, Paul's going to freeze on his follow-through this time, so we can get him to finish a little higher. Freeze, Paul. Freeze this time. Recover back. Again, Paul's going to freeze on a follow-through, which is a good teaching tool for him to finish higher. Now, that's fine that he's hitting the ball long, because that's much easier to fix than hitting in the net. Now, Paul needs to work on pushing to the ball and getting his racket back earlier. Push to the ball. There you go, Paul. Now, the racket face is a little too open, so we're going to try to get Paul to close his racket face. Looks like he had a little mental lapse there. Here we go. Paul's going to push forward, and that's much better. Now, if we can get Paul to open his chair up to 45 degrees to the net, I think we can get Paul to hit a good backhand. Paul, now we're talking 1, 2, and 3s. All right, you have no 1. We need you 1 to be a take back. Bring it back more. Good. Bring the racket back. Paul needs to bring the racket back more. There we go. All right, Paul's going to push to this, and he's going to bring the racket back as he's pushing. Perfect, Paul. Thank you, Paul, very much. Now we're going to progress to volleys and overheads. Again, the most important thing when we volley is the Continental Grip. It allows us to go to forehand to backhand without changing our grip. All right, you ready, Carl? Here we go. Carl is going to let the ball come to him. He's going to find the flight of the ball and bring his racket forward. All right, here we go, Carl. Now, it's important on the volleys that there's no backswing and there's no follow through. We're simply going to find the ball, find the path of the ball, and bring the racket forward. A couple backhands for Carl. Good, good, Carl. Now, Carl's played a little tennis and he knows the angles. When we volley, we want to volley in angles. Now, good, Carl. When I hit a low ball, watch Carl get low by holding his chair and getting the ball back into play. Very nice, Carl. A couple backhands. Boom. Forehand. All right, now we're going to throw up a couple overheads. Now, if I was feeding Carl overheads in practice, I would not feed from the middle of the court. I would be feeding from the alley. But for instructional purposes, Carl will now, oh, I'm sorry, Carl. That's what we call a bad feed. Here we go. Now Carl's going to hit a volley, move forward, and then the overhead. Carl needs to find the flight of the ball and also keep moving his chair. Volley, overhead. Move forward, Carl. Carl forgot to move forward there, and Carl needs to work on that. And then Carl needs to get around the ball there. Now, when we hit the overhead, we try not to have our shoulders parallel to the net, but instead 90 degrees so we can rotate our shoulders through the shot. Okay, Carl? So we're going to get to 90 degrees, rotate through. That's much better. There's a volley. Go to the backhand. Okay, then we're going to go up with the overhead, and Carl's going to rotate his shoulders. Okay, let's do a little better job. Rotate and get around that, Carl. My bad. Here we go, volley. Okay, down low, Carl. Good. Now let's get up, rotate the shoulders through the swing. Come on, your shoulders. Carl's shoulders right now are squared to the net. We need to get them at a 90 degree. There's his overhead. Thank you very much, Carl. Now for both the overhead and the volley, the rotation of the shoulders is key. If I'm going to play with my shoulders parallel to the net, all that's getting the ball over the net is my arm and my hands, all right? Now, if I volley and I turn my shoulders, I can rotate my shoulders through the swing, also with the overhead. If I'm here trying to hit overhead, I'll just simply be pancaking the ball with my arm. If I get to here and get my chair 90 degrees to the net, I can then turn and rotate my shoulders through the ball, thus driving the ball through the court.